Good morning, everybody. Sorry, I'm a little bit under the weather today, but I'm here every day, do or die. I'll bring you content and answer the questions. So let's jump into Q&A. It's not live today because, again, not feeling too good, but I'm here. And a big thank you, of course. Well, what I'm about to show you, of course, not investment advice. It is edutainment, and the questions all come from Patreon. A huge thank you to everybody in the Patreon community for bringing these brilliant questions every single week. So let's blast through this. First question. Let me see. I am 63 and going to retire soon. I have 140 shares of Amazon, 140 Google, and 129 Tesla, all currently close to purchase price. Thinking of selling Amazon and Google to buy more Tesla. Can you do a 3, 5, 10-year projection for Amazon, Google, and Tesla? Should I sell one or both to buy more Tesla or stay diversified since Amazon and Google are part of the big tech seven equities, the Magnificent Seven? So first of all, the first question I have for you is, why 140 shares? What's the magic number there? I like things in hundreds, so I would much prefer 100 shares of each, but that's good. But then you should try to get to 200 shares, and then you can do things like sell calls against them. But I'm interested in how you got there. So let's look at your split right now. You are 47.3% Tesla, about 35,600. Google's about 25.9%, 19K. And Amazon's 26.8%. Amazon and Google were late to join the party this year, but they've caught up a little bit and are close to all-time highs. Let's do my projection. I can't do 3, 5, 8, 10-year projections, but I will give you my 2026 sandbag projections for these assets to show you where I think we could be. So Tesla, and when I mean sandbagged, it means I believe they could be a lot higher, but we'll just go with that for now. Tesla could hit 200, and well, it is 276 today. It could hit 784 by 2026. That's an ROI of 184.06%, or nearly a three-bagger. That is, you put down, say, 200, you get 600. You put 276 down, you get 784 back. Amazon, I think it could go from 144 to 243, but they're getting a lot of competition in their AWS business, which is extremely profitable. And I believe that would be a 1.69x, which is still not bad. Google, $139, could go to $211. That's a 52%. So of them all, Google is the least performing. And so far this year to date, I've sold 60% of my long-term Google position and flipped into faster horses. And that's worked out pretty good. So with that, I can't give you financial advice, but what I would do is I'd unload some of the Google, flip 60% into Tesla, build that Tesla bag, also unload part of the Amazon, and flip 60% into things like MicroStrategy, because you do need some Bitcoin exposure. Unless you can buy pure form, always buy pure form first. And that's kind of what I would do. I hope that helps in you making your decision. Again, watch the table, do some math, try to get to a 200 share, maybe 300 share position of Tesla. That will be life-changing in 6 to 10 years. Life-changing. Check my, by the way, check also my retire on models for that too. Now, next question. During the last DCA show, the three of you mentioned shortcomings of Lightning Network and wish there was a better L2 for Bitcoin. Can you look at Stacks? I can look at Stacks. It's a bit of a deep dive, but I'm just going to focus, in the interest of time, on what we don't like about Lightning, what we believe are shortcomings. Usability issues and complexity is a real bear. The network setup and usage can be too complex for non-tech savvy individuals, and that's a big barrier to many entries that pulls out adoption. Then you have centralization dominance by high liquidity nodes. There is a risk of centralization of these high liquidity nodes, and it gets away from Bitcoin's decentralized principle. There are some liquidity limitations too. A requirement to deposit a balance to open channels might hinder transactions as well, especially in emerging markets. Also, there's interoperability and adoption channels. Network needs broader adoption to really be truly effective and overcome the hurdles and becoming a mainstream payment system as it is. I think the payment system will come from another platform to be a global payment platform. And security vulnerabilities as well, being a second layer, and may be prone to attacks and fraud, particularly if a node goes offline or a malicious actor controls multiple nodes. And then there's fee issues as well, and there's some legal and regulatory concerns. So that's the short list of why we don't like Lightning. Stacks, I can do a deep dive on at a later date, maybe next week, but that's more involved. Next, SimStock from Deadhead. Thoughts on SimStock as a medium-term play? Was it just caught up in the AI hype, or is there substance behind it? And what are they doing in the market they are trying to address? Well, this is interesting. You know, I get a lot of requests to look at stocks, and 99%, 98% are something I wouldn't touch. This one got my interest. So it's an automation technology company. It's in the robotics and to help retailers and wholesalers in the United States improve efficiency. And everywhere you go, you see a lot of that happening right now today. Let's just spend a few seconds looking at some numbers. It's all what I call goodness. Yes, they're still losing a little bit of money, but their revenue growth is really good and their cash position is rock solid and they have no debt. So this is kind of exciting for me. It looks pretty good. And if we look at the TA, quick, my symbolic TA time, this is a new model we are building right now as we speak. And there's a combination of things here. So the short lesson is we're coming down on this support level, level 3, we call it. If it finds support at $30 to $31, wait for the trend to turn, and then we should get a buy signal on this one. Wait for the mean reversion and the confluence to trigger a buy. So entering at 30 to 31 with a stop loss of $27.99 looks like it could be a good buy. But then again, it is risky. It did have a little bit of AI hype. You see there the way it spiked in 2023. But once they turn profitable, and I'm trying to figure out exactly how long it'll take for them to turn profitable, it could be a very interesting play. Next is Theta, is a decentralized video streaming network. Why are more people who are concerned about deplatforming censorship on YouTube and other social media sites not using Theta? From Woozy Wooster. So let's have a quick look. First of all, crickets on daily active users after 2 years. They do not share the daily active users, but I was able to dig into a couple of different things. One, again, I wouldn't say the ATR model. It's probably too strong a word saying it's dead, but literally, despite the early bull market, this thing has gone nowhere. And we're seeing that a lot with a lot of cryptos that simply will not get off the floor. They just keep on making new lows. And that is an extreme red flag as far as I'm concerned as an investor. In terms of data, if you look at this here, the total visits, 76,000. That's nothing. The average visit duration, 1 minute and 6 seconds. That's TikTok time right there. Maybe even less. And the amount of pages per visit, 2.2. So not very exciting at all. Let's look at penetration globally. You can see US. That's it. A little bit in Spain, a little bit in Turkey, a little bit in Brazil, a little bit in France. It's just not a global platform. And the compendium score is bad. So I don't find anything good about Theta right now from every perspective. And I hope that helps. And the reason people don't go is because there's no viewers. So you're not going to find viewers if you are a creator on Theta. Next is Leap Option Strategy. For those that don't have the approval level to do synthetic longs, is there a strategy to use leaps for the added leverage over buying stock outright? Better to sell trade them through their lifetime or buy, say, 3 with the idea of using profit from 2 to buy a third? Well, this is kind of interesting. First of all, leaps. There's a very low capital outlay. Especially they can be massively profitable if you have superior gains. If you pick an asset, for example, buying bottoms Tesla below 110. I remember I did something I never do, and that was buying out of the money call options, which was extremely, it's a risky thing that I don't do, but it worked out really well. And, you know, if you go back to some of my original options positions back in 2017, 2018, 2019 on Tesla, they make amazing money. The problem is, how do you maximize profit? Well, it's good to sell calls against your in-the-money leaps, and you can swing trade leaps as well, but watch for taxes, of course, too. Now, one of the problems we have in the market today is sometimes the options are so expensive. They make no sense whatsoever. This is a post in Discord a while ago. a few hours ago. It was basically what to buy. So it was regarding a MicroStrategy Leap position. So if you look at this is the December 2025 $330 call. So it's out quite a bit. But if you look at the premium is half the strike almost. So you can see the ask is $154.50 and the strike is $330. So it's just when premium is half the strike, you're just better off buying the stock on margin, 50% margin, and don't waste money on all of that time value. So very, very expensive, but that's what happens. That's why you need to load up on these things when the price is low. That is absolutely key as we go forward. All right, hope that helps. And we'll do more deeper dives on leaps as well. Next question. What would be your non-financial advice to those with a portion of their Bitcoin bag in an iTrust IRA? I'm 75% on my way to a whole coin status and don't want to risk losing any. If you were to move IRA funds, would you do it sooner or later? From LD. So excuse me. First of all, I'm not a licensed legal practitioner, lawyer, and the subsequent information is disseminated based on data that is publicly available on the World Wide Web. And the ensuing statements should be considered as purported or alleged. All right, first of all, when you ask Google about iTrust Capital and Prime Trust and all that type of stuff, it is complex. Let me just read out a couple of things that pop out of Google. One is iTrust and Prime Trust were affiliated in the past in that self-directed IRA platform. iTrust Capital used Prime Trust as a custodian for storing its clients' cryptocurrency assets. However, in some time, Prime Trust filed for bankruptcy. We know that because they had a loss of customer funds due to a hack and they lost keys, or I don't know what the situation is. But anyway, per Google. And as a result, Prime Trust bankruptcies, they needed to find a new custodian. Fortress Trust. Now, it's hard to find out exactly what went on because these companies aren't transparent. But Fortress Trust is the same bunch of folks that ran Prime Trust. And it's just very weird. And iTrust Capital said that it's confident that Fortress Trust will provide a secure and reliable custody solution for its clients' cryptocurrency assets. Again, allegedly per Google, not per me. I don't use iTrust Capital, never did. And I don't trust anything with the name trust in it. It just doesn't make sense. Things like anything with the name safe or trust or moon are just silly. Let's go pull another couple of things up. Per Blockworks, another company, Ripple, is in talks to acquire Fortress, which accelerated last week following another security incident. Ripple covered losses experienced by Fortress customers during a security incident as part of an acquisition deal. So you see what they're doing here? The kind of, Prime Trust lost crypto. The same team moves over to Fortress Trust. They have a problem. Theft, hack, lost keys. I don't know what's going on here, but it's very weird. Then all of a sudden, Ripple comes in and buys them. The great thing about Ripple is they just issue XRP tokens, so they can fill any hole anytime. They can sell 1 billion XRP tokens every day if they wanted, if the market was going to accept that too. So it's great having that access to cash. Now, Fortress, this is September 13th, 3 days ago. Phishing attack on a cloud provider with Fortune 500 clients led to $15 million crypto theft from Fortress Trust. Now, again, I don't know whose crypto it was, who they were holding it for, etc. But Dan Health chimes in. Again, I'll stress, I don't know what's going on here, but the companies that use these trust companies are not transparent about how much is lost or what the whole is. And I said months ago, Prime Trust going to Fortress Trust is the same set of characters, and it makes no sense to trust them at all. When you rebrand a company with the same players, it's the same company, same experience, same disaster. And Dan Health said any company using Fortress as their custodian is borderline negligent. They just got bailed out by Ripple after some customer deposits were stolen, and the CEO of Fortress Trust used to be the CEO of Prime Trust, which is just, ended up bankrupt due to theft. So again, that's from Dan Health, that's from Google, that's from the Block Crypto, that's from CoinDesk, that's from, you can dig into this on Twitter. It's pretty transparent what's going on. But I don't know whose money is lost. I know money is lost. I don't know who is a custodian who, but it looks really, really shady. So I don't use these things for a reason. I'll let you make your own conclusion. Next question is RC12. I just sold my company and received 5 million, 3.2 million after taxes. Currently, I get a salary and will for another 6 months. At that point, I will need to live off money until I get something else started. I know you can't give financial advice, but if you're in my position, what would you do? So, I do the same thing. Congratulations on the sale of your business. Well done. I'd buy a property, an apartment building, say 4 units or something, and with a third of the money, you can even buy 8 units, 10 units, depending on where you are. And that will generate you perpetual revenue. That's what you want. You want that salary replacement. Then I'd use some into some disruptive stocks. I think everybody needs to have a nice position in Tesla, and everybody needs to have a nice position in Bitcoin as well, or a proxy, depending on where you are. That would be what I would do. Next question. Could you do an opinion analysis where the big three stand in relation to Tesla in the market with relation to EV evolution? You covered great details in Discord, but your insight to the EV integration here would be greatly appreciated. So this is kind of a deeper dive. I'm just going to go real quick and share some things as to how these big three go. First of all, Stellantis, and this is US registration, Stellantis in the US do nothing. Or maybe they do. Maybe it's Chevrolet, Ford, I don't know. GM, Chevrolet, maybe I think Chevrolet is part of GM, yeah. Ford is Ford, and Stellantis is not on the list. But you can see here, I mean, Tesla sells 10 times the amount of cars that GM do, and GM are massive. And they sell even more than Ford, and Ford have made huge investments in EVs, but nobody's buying their products because they are inferior and they are expensive, and they've got less performance, less range, less features, less safety, no FSD, yada yada. In Europe, it's just embarrassing. Like Tesla's just running away with the market. You know, the Model Y became the best-selling car in the year. Now we've got this Model 3 coming out. So I forget the big three U.S. automakers. I think they are zombie companies. I think they're dying. I think the union strike will accelerate their demise. So it's just a whole bunch of ugly. But I would look at Toyota. Volkswagen's also swirling down the drain. Toyota is just embarrassing. When this Model 3 refresh comes out, it is so far beyond an equivalent car and cheaper and a million times better in every parameter. I made a whole video about best-selling car in the world versus the new Model 3 refresh. And it will destroy. The only challenge for Tesla is to build as many of these things as they can. And then they'll sell everything they want. And all the other competitors will die. That is the rough conclusion, because they're so far ahead. And people think I'm crazy when I say that, but you look at the data. It's just true. When the Model 3 lands, it's a game changer. Then refresh Model Y will come. Cybertruck is coming in a couple of days. FSD is nearly fixed. And it's game over. So get up as many as you can. And I want to thank you all for being here. And we're very proud to have a new baby. This is Raha. Raha's a rhino. She was abandoned at 1 week old. And now she's in good care. And she is in Nairobi. Thank you all. If you want to amplify your intelligence, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Sorry about being a little bit under the weather today, but I appreciate you all.